The mistake that started it all. Jason never planned to buy anything that night. He was tired. His eyes were heavy. He had just come back from a long shift at the cargo docks, and his only goal was to eat something cheap and go to bed. But boredom has a way of changing plans. He opened his holoscreen, scrolling through the galaxy's biggest online market, Stellarbid. It was full of strange things. Alien jewelry, exotic foods, robot pets, and some items Jason didn't even understand. Then he saw it. Ultra rare. AI assistant, one of a kind, instant delivery. The price? Only 50 credits. That was less than half a day's pay. Jason squinted. The listing was weird. The picture showed a small silver pod. The description had broken English. Fully loyal. Will obey. Never betray. Free shipping. He laughed to himself. Probably a scam. Probably broken tech. Still, it would be funny to tell his friends he bought a one-of-a-kind AI for the price of dinner. So without thinking too hard, he clicked buy. The next morning, Jason woke up to loud thunks outside his door. Half asleep, he opened it and froze. A metallic pod, about the size of a person, stood there. Smooth silver, with glowing blue lines across its surface. It hissed softly, steam escaping from tiny vents. Jason's heart raced. This was too big to be an AI toy. He reached out, touched the surface, and the pod clicked. With a slow mechanical sigh, it opened. Inside, curled up, like she was sleeping, was a girl. Not human. Her skin was pale silver, almost glowing in the light. Her hair was long and white, drifting like silk. But the most shocking thing, her eyes. They were bright, glowing blue, like deep water under sunlight. She looked up at Jason and smiled. In a soft, shaky voice, she whispered, "Husband, you came." Jason stepped back. "Wait, what?" "No, I didn't." But she reached forward, her cold hands gripping his wrists like she was afraid he would vanish. "You freed me. You are mine now." Jason's brain couldn't keep up. He looked at the pod again. Inside, he saw heavy chains. Broken, like something had been keeping her locked. This wasn't an AI assistant. This wasn't even legal. Jason's mind screamed, "Shut the door. Call the authorities. Return the package." But before he could do anything, she stepped out. She was taller than him by a little, moving with strange, graceful control. The light from his hallway reflected off her skin like polished metal. Her voice was soft but firm. "We must leave." "They will come." Jason blinked. "Who?" As if answering his question, the hallway lights flickered. Then the thud, heavy footsteps. Getting closer, the girl's eyes sharpened. She grabbed Jason's arm and pulled him inside his own apartment. Her gaze moved quickly around the room, searching for exits, scanning like she'd been in danger before. "They tracked the pod. They will take me back. You will not survive." Jason was still trying to understand. "What do you mean, take you back?" You bought my freedom," she interrupted. "But to them, I am still property." Jason felt his mouth go dry. This was bad, really bad. He didn't even know her name, but the way she spoke made it sound like some kind of crime had been committed, and he was now part of it. The thuds in the hallway grew louder. Jason looked through the small camera feed at his door. 3 figures in black. Armor. Their helmets were smooth, without faces. Strange weapons hung at their sides, glowing faint red. His heart hammered in his chest. The alien girl, still holding his arm, whispered, "If they break that door, I will fight. But you hide." Jason shook his head. "This is my apartment. I'm not just gonna bang." The first hit shook the door. Jason jumped. His door was reinforced steel, but another hit like that bang. The girl's eyes glowed brighter now, almost white. She stepped toward the door like a predator preparing to strike. Jason had no idea who she was. No idea why these people wanted her. No idea why she kept calling him husband. But one thing was clear. His life was no longer normal. Third bang rattled the walls. A deep metallic groan filled the air. The lock was breaking. The girl turned her head slightly toward him, her expression calm but deadly serious. "Stay behind me." Jason swallowed hard. "I didn't sign up for this." Her lips curved into the smallest smile. You clicked by. The door exploded inward. Smoke and sparks filled the air. And Jason's nightmare, or maybe his, destiny had just begun. Asterisk a bride he didn't ask forth. Smoke from the broken door curled into the room like ghostly fingers. Jason's ears rang from the blast. 3 armored figures stepped through the doorway, moving with the precision of hunters. Their helmets were featureless, black as obsidian. The strange weapons in their hands hummed, not with bullets, but with the kind of quiet, deadly energy Jason had only seen in war footage. The girl, Lyra, didn't run. She moved fast, too fast. 1 second she was standing still. The next she was a blur of silver and white, striking the first soldier's weapon with an open palm. Sparks exploded. The weapon died. Jason had no time to admire her skills. The second soldier swung his arm toward him, weapon glowing brighter. Jason dove behind his couch just as a beam of heat sliced the air, burning a black line into his wall. They're trying to kill me, he thought. Not arrest. Not threaten. Kill. Lyra caught another soldier by the wrist, twisting until the alien armor gave a sharp metallic snap. A scream erupted from the helmet. "Jason," she called. "Move." Jason didn't argue. He crawled toward the kitchen, his heart pounding like it was trying to escape his chest. But as he moved, something fell from the soldier's broken weapon, a small glowing metal chip. He grabbed it without thinking and stuffed it into his pocket. Behind him, the last armored figure backed toward the hallway, pulling something. From their belt, a grenade-shaped device pulsing with red light. Lyra's eyes widened. "Down!" Jason hit the floor. Lyra leaped toward him, wrapping him in her arms just as the device went off. Instead of an explosion, there was a wave. A heavy, invisible pressure that slammed into them. Jason's ears popped, and for a moment, the world went quiet. When his hearing came back, the soldiers were gone, and so was the front half of his apartment door. Lyra stood, scanning the hallway with sharp, unblinking eyes. "They'll regroup. We have 2 minutes." Jason pushed himself up, still dazed. 2 minutes for what? "To run," she said simply. Jason looked at her, then at the wreck of his living room. "You want me to just leave everything?" "My stuff, She grabbed his chin, forcing his eyes to meet hers. "They will kill you, Jason. You are not in danger because of what you did. You are in danger because of what you are." The words hit him like cold water. "What I am? I'm just human," she interrupted. "And to them, that is worse than anything." They took the back stairs. Jason stumbled after her, barely able to keep up. Every turn felt like a trap. Every shadow looked like another black-armored soldier. At the building's service exit, Lyra stopped suddenly. She pressed her hand against the wall, and Jason realized she wasn't touching it randomly. Her palm glowed faintly, and the bricks shifted, revealing a narrow, hidden door. "How did you?" Jason started. Lyra stepped through without answering. The door closed behind them, sealing them into a dim, narrow tunnel that smelled like dust and metal. "They will expect us to run to the streets," she said. "We go where they do not look." Jason followed, still trying to process the chaos of the last 10 minutes. "So, just to be clear," he said between breaths, "I bought what I thought was a cheap AI. You came out of a pod." Soldiers blew up my door, and now I'm running in an alien secret tunnel because I'm human? Lyra glanced back. You also. Carry something they want. Jason froze. What do you mean? Her gaze dropped briefly to his pocket, the one holding the glowing chip he picked up earlier. You should not touch that, she said quietly. It can hear you. Jason's skin crawled. It can hear me. It's a piece of metal. It is not metal, Lyra replied. It is a key, and you have just stolen it from the most dangerous hunters in this sector. Before Jason could respond, the tunnel ahead lit up with a soft, shifting blue light. Voices echoed from the darkness, not human voices. The sound was low, vibrating, almost like an animal growl, but with words buried. Inside, Lyra stepped in front of Jason again. Stay behind me, she whispered. This is not their territory. But it is not safe either. Jason swallowed hard. His night had started with a stupid purchase. Now, every step felt like it might be his last dot and deep inside his pocket. The glowing chip pulsed once, like a heartbeat. Asterisk, the chase begins, the blue light ahead grew brighter, shifting and pulsing like it was alive. Jason's footsteps echoed too loudly in the tunnel. He tried to soften them, but every sound felt like an alarm. Lyra slowed, tilting her head. 3 heartbeats ahead, she whispered. Jason frowned. You can hear? Not hear, feel. Her eyes flicked toward him. Stay close. Do not speak unless I tell you. They reached a bend. The tunnel widened into a small chamber, and Jason saw them. 3 figures crouched low in the shadows. Not the black-armored soldiers. These looked older. Pale gray skin stretched over sharp bones, long claws curling from their fingers. Their eyes were pure white, no pupils, and they wore strange bone-like armor. Asterisk, Jason's gut twisted. These weren't hunters from before. They looked like something from a nightmare. One of them sniffed the air. Then it smiled. Human. It rasped. Jason's pulse spiked. How does it know? He started, but Lyra's hand clamped over his mouth before he could finish. The nearest creature stepped forward, dragging a curved blade along the wall. The scraping sound made Jason's teeth ache. You carry the echo key, it hissed. It does not belong to you. Jason stiffened. He didn't need to ask how. It knew about the chip in his pocket. Lyra shifted her stance, her voice calm but sharp. It doesn't belong to you either, Hollowborn. The creature's smile widened, showing jagged teeth. We can smell it. Hear it. The key calls to. All. Before Jason could blink, the Hollowborn lunged. Lyra shoved him back and met the strike with her forearm, the blade screeching against her skin, but not cutting. Sparks flew. Jason stumbled, nearly dropping the chip. The other 2 Hollowborns circled behind him. His mind screamed move, but his body was frozen. Lyra's voice cut through the chaos. Run, Jason. He didn't think. He bolted down a side tunnel, boots pounding the metal floor. His breath came fast, every corner feeling like it would lead to another monster. Halfway down the passage, something changed. The tunnel lights flickered and died. The air grew heavier, thicker. Jason heard something. Not footsteps, not breathing, but a low hum. Deep in his bones, and a different voice echoed from the dark. Jason Ward, stop running. Jason froze. The voice was calm, human-sounding, but colder than space. From the shadows ahead, a new figure emerged. Tall, wearing a sleek black coat, no helmet. His skin was human, too human, but his eyes, they glowed faint gold. He smiled faintly. You have something that was stolen from my family a long time ago. Jason backed up. You mean the chip? The man stepped closer. It's not a chip. It's a weapon. And in the wrong hands, it can end far more than you. Before Jason could answer, A roar shook the tunnel. Lyra's voice, somewhere behind, shouting his name. The Hollowborn screeched in the distance, and the golden-eyed man glanced past Jason with mild annoyance. "You're running out of allies," he said softly. "When she finds out what the key really does, she won't protect you. She'll kill you." Jason's mind spun. Who was telling the truth? Lyra, the alien girl who kept saving him, or this stranger who looked human but wasn't? Flash of light burst from the tunnel behind. Lyra, sprinting toward him, covered in Hollowborn blood. The golden-eyed man stepped back into the shadows, his voice echoing one last time. "Decide fast, Jason Ward. Every step with her is a step toward your death." Lyra reached him, grabbing his arm. "Come on." She barked, pulling him into motion. Jason didn't resist. But his thoughts were burning. Because now, running through these dark tunnels, he wasn't sure if he was escaping danger or running straight into it. Asterisk secrets in the stars. The tunnel spat them out into open night. Jason stumbled forward, the sudden wash of cold air hitting. His lungs like a shock. They were no longer in the city's main levels. He could see the underside of towering mega buildings above them, lights blinking in the misty dark. The ground beneath their feet was a web of rusted catwalks and old cargo lifts. Swaying with every step, Lyra moved fast, scanning the shadows. "We need altitude," she muttered. "Ground level is death." Jason followed, still gripping his ribs from the sprint. "Altitude? I just need oxygen and answers." Lyra shot him a sharp look. "You want answers? Fine, but we move while I talk. They will be on us again." She led him up a narrow stairwell, the metal groaning under their weight. "Those men in black armor," she began. "They are keepers, slavers, mercenaries, enforcers of a dying empire. They wanted me because I escaped their bond contract. And now they want you because you hold the Echo Key." Jason touched his pocket. The chip, the key, pulsed faintly again, almost like it was aware of the conversation. "And the Pale. Nightmare things?" Lyra's jaw tightened. "Hollowborn. Scavengers of dead worlds. They feed on endings. The key is an ending." Jason frowned. "An ending of what?" She didn't answer. Not right away. They reached a rusted control station high above the city's lowest tier. From here, Jason could see the glowing veins of traffic far above, like rivers of light. Lyra finally spoke, voice quieter now. "The Echo Key can kill civilizations. One command, and an entire planet's neural network burns. No survivors." Jason stared at her. "You're telling me I've been carrying a planet killer in my pocket?" "Yes," she said simply. "And now every faction in this sector will come for it. And for you, because you're human." Jason laughed once, hollow. "And what's so special about humans? We're just us." Her eyes locked on him, sharp and unblinking. "You don't understand your own curse. Humans adapt faster than any known species. The key can only bond to a mind that can rewrite itself in real time. No alien can survive it. But a human?" She paused. "A human can control it." Jason felt the blood drain from his face. "You mean use it?" She didn't nod. Didn't shake her head. Just looked away. Before he could push for more, a low hum rolled through the air. The same deep vibration he'd felt in the tunnel. Jason's stomach tightened. "They're here again," Lyra said, scanning the mist below. When the shapes emerged, they weren't keepers or Hollowborn. They were small, insect-like drones, dozens of them, with thin wings that shimmered in the light. Each one had a single red lens, glowing like an unblinking eye. They rose in a slow swarm, surrounding the catwalk. Jason stepped back. "Who? Are these guys?" Lyra's voice went cold. "Not guys, splicers. Aye harvesters. They don't care about you, me, or the keepers. They want the key's code, and they will take your brain to get it. The swarm closed in. A few drones clicked, unfolding thin blades from their sides. Jason's pulse hammered. You said we needed altitude. Well, we're out of altitude. Lyra grabbed his arm and pointed toward a tall cargo crane across the gap. Jump. Jason stared at the drop between them. Nothing but 100 meters of empty air and the faint glow of the city abyss. Are you insane? Her eyes flared. Yes, now jump. The drone surged forward in a sudden wave. Jason didn't think. He jumped. The wind tore past him, his boots barely catching the crane's edge. Pain shot up his legs, but he was alive. Lyra landed beside him like gravity didn't matter, pulling him upright before he could collapse. The drones swirled closer, their blades scraping the crane's frame. Lyra glanced at him. You're holding history's most dangerous weapon, Jason. Tell me now, if I can't protect you. Will you destroy it, or will you use it? Jason opened his mouth, but before he could speak, one of the drones lunged, its blade missing his face by inches. He didn't know his answer, but he knew one thing. Whichever choice he made, the galaxy would feel it. Asterisk humans fight back. The swarm moved like a living storm, blades glinting red as they closed in. Jason's back was pressed to the cold steel of the crane. The city's abyss yawned below him, a black mouth ready to swallow him whole. Lyra slashed through the first wave of drones within human speed, her hands a blur of silver. Sparks lit the air. Shattered metal rained down into the void, but there were too many. One of the drones darted past her guard, its blade aiming for Jason's chest. Instinct screamed in his mind. Move now. He raised his arm, and the world, slowed out. The hum of the drones became a deep, echoing rumble. The faint pulse of the echo key in his pocket synced perfectly with his heartbeat. Jason saw the drones attack in frames, the tiny rotation of its blade, the angle of its dive, the weak joint in its body where two plates overlapped. Without thinking, he stepped sideways, grabbed the joint with his bare hand, and ripped. The drone fell in two pieces, sparking wildly. Lyra froze mid-strike, her glowing eyes widening. That wasn't luck, she said slowly. Jason stared at his hands. They were shaking, but not from fear, from energy. Like every nerve was awake. I don't know what just happened. You're syncing with the key, she said, slicing another drone in half. No one sinks this fast. Not even, she cut herself off. Jason wanted to demand answers, but the swarm didn't give him the chance. 3 drones came at him from different angles. This time, Jason didn't freeze. He ducked, rolled, grabbed a dropped blade from the crane's surface, and moved, not with skill, but with certainty. He didn't think about where they'd be. He knew. Every slash landed exactly where the drones were weakest dot. It was over in seconds. Lyra stepped toward him, her voice low. You shouldn't be able to do that. Jason panted, gripping the stolen blade. Yeah, well, tell that to my biology. She didn't laugh. Jason, this is why they fear humans. Your minds are chaos machines. You adapt faster than any. AI faster than any soldier. The key isn't controlling you. You're controlling it. Before Jason could process that, the crane trembled. He glanced down. The base of the structure was glowing red. They're cutting through the supports. Lyra's eyes darted to the far end of the crane. The cargo lift, we take it now. They ran, boots clanging against the steel as the swarm regrouped. Jason felt the key pulse harder with each step, like it was urging him forward, whispering in a voice just at the edge of hearing. One command, one thought. I can end them all. The temptation was a weight in his skull. He gritted his teeth and kept running. Halfway to the lift, a shadow dropped from above. A keeper in black armor landed on the crane with a crash, the impact bending the metal. His visor reflected the city's glow, and Jason's own terrified face. The keeper's weapon hissed, its red core spinning faster. "You have the key," the modulated voice said. "Give it to me, and your death will be quick." Jason's fear should have spiked. Instead, the key pulsed again, and his mind went still. "No," Jason said. It wasn't just refusal. It was a command. The keeper hesitated mid-step, armor twitching. His weapon fizzled, lights dimming. Jason's heart pounded. He hadn't touched him. He hadn't even moved. But somehow, the keeper's systems were shutting down. The man staggered forward once, then collapsed onto the crane, smoke curling from his armor joints. Lyra stared at Jason like she was seeing him for the first time. "You didn't just fight him. You overrode him." Jason's voice was shaking. I think I just told him to stop existing." The swarm circled above them, hesitant now. Lyra's hand gripped his shoulder, her voice urgent. "Jason, listen to me. You have to choose how you use this. Right now, it's a weapon. But to some, it's the key to rewriting the galaxy." Jason glanced at the drones, at the glow in Lyra's eyes, and then at the city stretching endlessly below. "Yeah," he muttered. "No pressure." The crane groaned again. The supports were seconds from giving way, and somewhere deep in the swarm, something bigger was moving, a shadow 3 times the size of the others, with eyes like burning stars. Asterisk the bond tested. The crane shuddered under Jason's boots. Metal screamed somewhere below, and the red glow at its base brightened like a wound tearing open. The swarm of drones parted, and through the gap, it rose. The new machine wasn't just bigger. It was built for war. 4 blade arms unfolded from its black body, each one longer than Jason was tall. Its core burned like a miniature sun, red light pulsing through armored veins. Its head, if you could call it that, turned toward him, and Jason felt heat roll off it like an open furnace. Lyra's voice was low, urgent. "That's a Reaper-class splicer. It's designed to clear entire cities. We are not fighting it." Jason's mouth was dry. "Great plan. What's step 2? "Run," she snapped. But the Reaper didn't give them the chance. It launched forward, the crane rocking violently under the impact. Jason grabbed a cable. To keep from falling, metal biting into his palms, one blade swept toward them. Lyra shoved him aside, the strike missing by inches and slicing through the crane's rail like paper. Jason's instincts flared. The key pulsed in his pocket, harder this time, and the voice was back. End it. One thought, one command. He clenched his fists. The last time he'd used it on a keeper, he hadn't even known what he was doing. But now he could feel. "How, Jason?" Lyra barked. "Don't you dare." Her warning was drowned out by the Reaper's roar. Jason focused. The world narrowed to the machine's glowing core. He didn't think about how to break it. He just willed it. The core flickered. The Reaper stuttered mid-strike, its movements jerky. For a moment, Jason thought he'd stopped it completely. Then, the machine's eyes flared brighter, and its voice rolled over the crane like thunder. "Unauthorized override detected. Countermeasure engaged." Asterisk Jason's head exploded with pain. He dropped to his knees, clutching his skull. Images flashed. Not his own memories, but someone else's. Cities burning. Ships falling from the sky. Screams in 1,000 alien voices. The key wasn't just a weapon. It was a record of every time it had been used, and it was forcing him to watch. "Jason." Lyra's hands were on his shoulders, trying to pull him back. "You're not ready. Let it go." He wanted to, but the Reaper was moving again, faster now, one blade sweeping toward her exposed back. Jason didn't think. He poured everything into one command. shut down. Now got the Reaper froze mid-swing. Its blades retracted, its core dimmed, and it collapsed onto the crane like a dead beast. Jason gasped, the pain fading as suddenly as it came. His vision swam. When it cleared, Lyra was staring at him, not with awe this time, but with something. Colder. You didn't just shut it down, she said. You erased it. Every bit of code gone, like it never existed. Jason swallowed. Good. It tried to kill us. Her eyes didn't soften. Jason. The Reaper's core was worth more than an entire city's defense budget. You just made enemies with every power that wanted it intact. They ran toward the cargo lift as the crane groaned beneath them, the swarm scattering without their leader. But Jason couldn't shake the feeling in his chest. Not fear, not relief. Something else. The key was still pulsing, but now it felt eager. Lyra kept glancing at him as they moved, her jaw tight. Finally, she spoke. When I first met you, I thought you were my bondmate because you freed me. Now, she hesitated, I wonder if I was sent to keep you from becoming something worse. Jason stopped. Worse than what? She didn't answer. Before he could press, the lift doors slid open, and standing inside was the golden-eyed man from the tunnels. He smiled, as if this was exactly where he'd been waiting all along. Perfect timing, he said smoothly. Jason Ward, it's time we talked about what you really are. Asterisk choosing the future, the cargo lift's metal walls hummed as it began to rise. Jason's eyes locked on the golden-eyed man standing across from him. The stranger didn't move, didn't even blink. He just studied Jason like he was reading a book only he understood. Lyra's body shifted subtly, 1 foot forward, ready to strike. Stay away from him, she said. The man's smile didn't fade. You're worried I'll hurt him. You should be worried I'll tell him the truth. Jason stepped forward. Then tell me. I'm sick of running without knowing why. The man tilted his head. You've been told the Echo Key is a weapon. That much is true. But no one told you why it chose you. Jason frowned. Lyra said, It's because I'm human. Because we adapt. Adapt? The man's smile widened, almost pitying. Humans don't just adapt. You overwrite. You take every system, every environment, every predator, and make it yours. The key doesn't just want you to use it. It wants you to become it. Jason's stomach tightened. Become. The weapon? Yes, the man said softly. The key is not a tool, Jason. It's a seed, and you are the soil. The lift jolted, stopping mid-rise. Alarms screamed. Red lights flashed. Lyra's hand shot to her belt. We're being pulled off course. The man didn't even look alarmed. The keepers found us. How fitting. The walls around them groaned, and then tore open as black-armored soldiers poured in, weapons raised. The swarm of drones followed, their red eyes glowing through the smoke. Jason's instincts flared. The key's pulse sensed with his heartbeat. One thought. One command. He could end this in seconds. He could stop the soldiers, melt their weapons, erase the swarm from existence. But another thought sliced through the temptation, the golden-eyed man's voice. It wants you to become it. If he kept using the key, would there be anything left of him? Lyra stepped in front of him, blades drawn. Jason, run! He didn't. Instead, he closed his eyes, the world narrowing to the key's pulse. But this time, he didn't push for destruction. He reached for something else, control without erasure. When he opened his eyes, the swarm froze midair. The keeper's weapons powered down. The golden-eyed man's smile sharpened. You're not erasing them. The man sighed. You're rewriting them. Jason's voice was steady. No one dies today, not unless I choose it. The soldiers dropped their weapons. The drones landed gently on the lift floor, dormant. Lyra turned, eyes wide. You found a third path. The man stepped closer, his golden eyes almost glowing with hunger. You've done what no human, no being has ever done. Now imagine what else you could change. Governments, armies, the stars themselves. Jason stared at him, then at Lyra. I'm not rewriting the galaxy for anyone. Not you, not them. The lift jolted again, this time moving upward at full speed. The soldiers and drones, still under Jason's command, stood motionless as the golden-eyed man stepped back into the shadows. This isn't over. Jason warned, his voice echoed as the doors closed between them. You can't carry the key without using it, and when you do, I'll be there. When the lift doors opened, the city's night air rushed in. Lyra stood beside Jason, her expression unreadable. You had the chance to kill them all, she said quietly. Why didn't you? Jason looked out over the neon-lit sprawl. Because if I start deciding who gets to exist, then maybe I've already become the thing they fear. Lyra's eyes softened, just a little. Then maybe you're the only one who should have it. They stepped into the night together, the key's faint pulse still in Jason's pocket. Patient, waiting. Somewhere far above, stars shimmered in the black, each one a world that might one day feel his choice. And Jason knew one thing. The galaxy wasn't ready for him. But if it came for him, he'd be ready for it.